Here we go. Question number 4. What do we have in store today? Well, let's get right to it. Question number 4, and this is from the Townhall on 29 May of 2025. This one covers rural healthcare access. The question reads as follows. Our state is leading in rural hospital closures. What's your plan to ensure consistent access to essential services like maternity care, emergency rooms, and mental health? So this one, my answer is actually pretty simple. But as we've been doing, let's bring it back to the Constitution. And I have gone back through Article 1, Section 8, which covers what Congress has or shall have the power to lay or power to do. Healthcare is not one of them. Now, does this mean that we should not have healthcare? No, it doesn't. But it is not in the purview of the federal government to be doing this. And take a look at the programs and how they're managed, and tell me that we're better off for it. I say we are not. So, but I don't have a plan to access or to expand any of this. The opposite would be true, in that this is another one that we need to have some adult conversations that it needs to go away. If states want to manage healthcare within their state constitutions or whatever, that's fine. I just don't think, and I can't find in the Constitution is why I think this, that the federal government is, one, authorized, but two, the best agent to be administering healthcare. And you'll get this. Actually, both of our answers were pretty short in this one. I'm not gonna ramble too much here, but just kind of some notes I took down again, and the hands-off Medicaid, and so just kind of lumped in, and some of the stuff she says in there, I'm not entirely convinced that Victoria understands how this stuff works. Who's eligible, who isn't eligible, because we need Medicaid, we need access. Who's the we? Take a look at the requirements for Medicaid, and if generally the baseline 65 and above, certain exemptions from that or adjustments from that under, but that's who the we is, and neither her or myself are in that category. So it's up to us. Like I said, as a nation, if we can figure this out, okay, but it's still unconstitutional. So that is not the answer, in my opinion. And then kind of back up to the phrasing of the question. From what I've seen, Tennessee is not number one. We do not lead the nation. We are number 2, so I don't know. I'm not too bad about that. And again, maybe look at the why. Victoria would have us believe that part of why we don't have OBs is they're villainized. Do your own research on that. Come up with your own conclusions. I don't think that's completely the case. Some of it's self-inflicted, because why? Doctors are people. Doctors do bad stuff. So there you go. And so we talked about the eligibility requirements. And one, the question was, what is your plan? And I don't know. You tell me of a plan in there in her answer. How we're going to do that, other than just more government spending, more. We got to have access. We got to have universal care. Even if we have universal care, what then is the plan? Stop villainizing doctors that do wrong, and just let them do their thing. I don't know. That to me is ridiculous. And I will tell you. So I do use the VA healthcare system, and that system is probably the closest thing we can look at within our country right now at socialized medicine, and it is not a lot of fun to deal with. It has gotten better, and if it is that great, why do we send veterans outside of the system to receive care? Yeah, it's all because of government involvement, over involvement in things. Now, I do think we do have an obligation to provide our veterans, but again, I think I've talked to some in the other ones about this. But you have to have some guideposts. It's not just you showed up and for basic training, and then you're entitled to the rest of your life of a bunch of care. So without going back through all that, yeah, it's like I said, it's just look at the one, the Constitution, and two, the track record of what we have, and start doing some research and take a look at why we have this particular model of healthcare. And it's not because it's best for us. Yeah, like I said, it's this is a fairly new construct, and I mean, people did just fine for thousands of years having babies without doctors. Have we dropped the infant mortality rate? Probably, but what causes or what issues are we causing now? So it's just a lot to look at, and again, not up to the doggone government to do it. So there we go. This one, hopefully, I can't see my timer there, but hopefully this one will be a little bit shorter, a little bit easier to watch. But again, always as the government's doing stuff, always the federal government, bring it back to the Constitution. And if it's not in there, the answer, the standard response should be no. And if we've been doing it, let's take a look. And again, back to our debt. That is the number one thing, the number one issue we're facing as a nation is this doggone debt. So there we go. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. If you would do the things, hit the likes, hit the comments, do the shares, tell your friends. We have got to change things in Washington D.C. and getting the federal government, back into what it is supposed to be doing is the first step in this. So. Yeah, I appreciate you, and any involvement in the campaign, greatly appreciated. Do the things, like I said, and we have a couple more questions on this, and then I think we'll wrap it all up. But until then, I appreciate your time, I appreciate your attention, and until the next one, keep your powder dry.
Question, Victoria, you can answer this one first. Our state's leads in few things, but we're leading in rural hospital closures. What's your plan to ensure consistent access to essential services like maternity care, emergency rooms, and mental health?
Yeah, that. Hands off Medicaid. Thank you for saying that. Yes, hands off Medicaid. Guys, Tennessee needs federal funding. I do believe in expanding Medicaid. I believe that we should have universal health care. We should take the pressure off of companies and provide people real resources so they don't go bankrupt in our country from going to the doctor, so they can address medical needs in the beginning and avoid additional costs later down the road, so they can enjoy their lives and not be a slave to their job. We need to expand it because rural Tennessee is hurting right now. We all know a county, a city, that we can't find a health care provider. OBs are abandoning the state because they're being villainized by bad rhetoric, by lies. We need to give them their jobs and allow them to do their jobs, and we need to make sure it's safe for them to do their jobs. We also need to make sure that we have access to Medicare and medical doctors everywhere. If we don't have that, then everyone's going to suffer, and we're going to feel that. And we might be able to endure for a while, but I don't feel like you should have to suffer to be a U.S. citizen.
This one's going to get spicy because I have a very similar stance on this one. And I'll just tell you, I mean, you can see my short lines on this, but I have no plans for this. medical care is an individual responsibility, and how you determine to do that is up to you. If you need to be closer to it, that's where you should position yourself. So, see what I tell you. So,
All right.
there you go.
Let's not eat into his time.
And that's where it is. Thank you very much.